Hello, Grateful Spirits. Welcome back to another one of my videos. My name is Camille Elaine, and welcome to the Grateful Spirit Faith. If you're new to this channel, welcome. On this channel, we talk about God, we talk about Jesus, we do women's devotionals, and we talk about anything encouraging and uplifting for your soul. So welcome to the Biblical Sisterhood. We are super excited to have you. Today, we are going to be talking about embracing godly confidence, okay? I think it's important as women to know that we can embrace godly confidence and that we can believe in the promises that God has given us, right? So we're going to be getting into some scripture today. Go ahead and grab your Bible. We are going to be talking about the story of Joshua and Caleb, okay? So if you're familiar with this story, great. If not, I'm going to just go ahead and give you a quick background of the story. Moses actually was instructed to send 12 men to the promised land, okay? So the Israelites were coming out of wilderness and God promised them land, right? He promised them the land of Canaan, which was the promised land, right? So Moses actually had instructions to send 12 men to scout out this land, right? So they were supposed to go to this land. Moses wanted them to basically bring back the fruit from this land. He wanted to know if the people there were strong, were they weak? You know, they wanted to basically know like what type of people were on this land that God had promised them, right? So they were brought out of the wilderness and then God promised them this beautiful land, but there were already people on this land, right? So Moses was just like, hey, like, you know, we need to send these 12 guys over here. They need to scout out this land. We need to see what's good. We need to see what type of people these are. Like, are these strong people? Like, are they soldiers? Like, what is this land really, right? So 12 men were sent to the land of Canaan, which is the promised land, to scout this land out, right? And Joshua and Caleb were among these 12 men, okay? So we are going to go ahead and continue the story in chapters 13, verses 27. So go ahead and grab your Bibles, and that's where we're going to start. So basically, they are coming back to the community and Moses, the 12 men, and they're basically going to say what they've seen on this land that God promised them, right? So they're coming back and they're going to give a report on everything, right? So verse 27 says, they reported to Moses, "We went into the land where you sent us. Indeed, it is flowing with milk and honey. And here is some of its fruit," right? So it is definitely flowing with milk and honey. But these people are already on this land and God promised them this land, right? Okay, so let's get into it. So it also says, going into verse 28, "However, the people living in the land are strong and the cities are large and fortified," right? So here we go. "We also saw the descendants of Anak there. The Amalekites are living in the land of the Negev. The Hittites, Jebusites, and the Amorites live in the hill country, and the Canaanites live by the sea and along the Jordan." So basically, they're saying here that the people living here are basically strong, okay? And they're also descendants of the Anak. So it sounds like they're pretty important people that are living there, right? As we go into verse 30, it says, "Then Caleb quieted the people in the presence of Moses and said, 'Let's go up now and take possession of the land because we can certainly conquer it,'" right? So really quickly, in this verse here is saying like the guys are coming back, they're reporting to Moses, and it sounds like they're a little like, this doesn't sound good. Like these people here are scary. Like they're big, they're fortified. There's descendants of the Anak there. Like, I don't know about this. Like, you know, this don't seem good. And then Caleb is the first one to quiet the people. Caleb is like, "Hey, look, chill. Let's go up and let's take over. We can conquer it for sure," right? Caleb already has that power and that passion inside to like quiet everybody from their negativity and their thoughts of thinking that they can't be confident in what they're actually going to do and they can't be confident in what God actually promised them, right? But Caleb is like, "Hey, like we got this. Like I don't care who's fortified. Like let's go. We can conquer this," right? So as we go into verse 31, it says, "But the men who had gone up with him responded, 'We can't attack the people because they are stronger than we are.'" Okay, so the other men that went to look at the city, their confidence level in God is just like completely shot. They're just like, "There's no way we can do it. We can't attack them. Like, we can't do it." Like, he wasn't even willing to try. Like, not even him. Like, all the other men that went with Caleb were just like, "No, there's no way we can attack them. Like, there's no way that we can win." Like, they're not having the confidence that they should be having, because God already promised them this land. This is the land, the promised land. God specifically promised them this land, and these men are not even having confidence in God, right? So how many times have you been like pushed up against the wall in your life where circumstances have happened where it just looked, okay, from our appearance, right? We always talk about the human appearance. It just looks like it cannot be overcome. Like, it's just like there's no way, like we can't do it. Like, the confidence level is just so low because you're just not believing in the promises. You're not believing that God has promised these things to you, right? So you're not alone. These men here are just like, look, these people are stronger than us. Like, there's no way we can do this. So as we go into verse 32, it says, so they gave a negative report to the Israelites about the land they had scouted. The land we passed through to explore is one of that devours its inhabitants, and all the people we saw in it are men of great size, right? They're already saying, like, these men are big, like, what? No, like, we can't even do it. The confidence is just gone, right? And this is so relatable. Like, how many times have we just gone throughout life and like the circumstances and what it looks like just looks like we can't overcome it, right? It just looks like it's impossible to overcome to us, right? So as we get here into verse 33, it says, we even saw the Nephilim there, and descendants of the Anak come from the Nephilim. To ourselves, we seemed like grasshoppers, and we must have seemed the same to them. So they're already comparing themselves, right? So how much do we go through that in life where we're just like comparing our circumstances and we're just like, wow, like there's just no way out of this, like just feeling completely defeated, not having confidence, right? Not walking in that confidence that we should, because we know that God is never going to forsake us, right? And it's okay to feel that way because you're not alone, like I said. And as we go into chapter 14, I want to also just read briefly a few more verses because this is going to kind of sum up this devotional here. As we go into chapter 14, it says, then the whole community broke into loud cries and the people wept that night, okay? All the Israelites complained about Moses and Aaron, and the whole community told them, if only we died in the land of Egypt, or if only we had died in this wilderness. Why is the Lord bringing us into this land to die by the sword? Our wives and children will become plunder. Wouldn't it be better for us to go back to Egypt? So they said to one another, let's appoint a leader and go back to Egypt. Okay, this is them being so doubtful. They're not having any type of confidence in the Lord. They're actually questioning God. Like, why did he bring us here? We should have just stayed in the wilderness. We should have just died in the wilderness. Why would he bring us here and promise us this beautiful land that's filled of milk and honey? That's just amazing. Yet these people that live on this land are huge people and they're soldiers. Why would he bring us to such place? We should have just died in the wilderness. Like, they really just like didn't have that confidence in God. And it's understandable. Like, sometimes we go through life and we don't have confidence because of the circumstances we're facing, right? These people here are just like, look, there's no way we can fight them. Like, God brought us here to have us killed. Like, how many times have you said that in your life? Probably not those exact words, but like, God, like, you gave me this for this to happen. And so how many times have you had that in your life where you're questioning God? Like, God, why would this happen? Like, why would you let this happen to me, right? I know that's relatable. I know someone can actually say we've questioned God before, just like the Israelites are questioning God here. Like, God, why did you bring us out of the wilderness to die by these people? And as we go into verses 5 from chapter 14, it says, then Moses and Aaron fell face down in front of the whole assembly of the Israelite community. Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, who were among those who scouted out the land, tore their clothes and said to the entire Israelite community, the land we passed through and explored is an extremely good land. If the Lord is pleased with us, he will bring us into this land, a land flowing with milk and honey, and give it to us, right? Only don't rebel against the Lord, and don't be afraid of the people of the land, for we will devour them. Their protection has been removed from them, and the Lord is with us. Don't be afraid of them. Okay? This is amazing. This is Caleb and Joshua ripping off their clothes in front of the entire community and just having that amazing confidence in the Lord, saying, the Lord is with us. Like, let's go and conquer this. Like, God for sure will take their power away from them, just as He promised. God will for sure take you out of these circumstances, just as He promised. No matter what it looks like, no matter how big that mountain is, walk with godly confidence, knowing that you can conquer it. Know that you can conquer anything in your sight, anything that's in front of you, any type of blocks, any type of, any type of anything, anything that is in your way that is going in your life, and you feel like these circumstances are just bigger than you, any type of Goliath, okay, whatever you want to call it, this is an amazing example of embracing that godly confidence, right? Like Caleb and Joshua, ripping off your clothes, like probably don't be ripping off your clothes and stuff, but stand firm in knowing the promises that God has given to you. No matter what the situation looks like, no matter what those circumstances look like, no matter how big that mountain is in this very moment, it may be impossible to us, but it is never impossible to God. And as much as we have, bad circumstances in our life that happens, and we sometimes question God. We're just like, God, I don't understand why this is happening. Okay, this is completely normal to do, but don't do it. Okay, it's important to understand that God is never going to forsake us. He will always be there for us, and I will always remind you that. I will always remind you that in every video if I can. And Caleb and Joshua and this story here is just so amazing, because it just lets them know, like, no matter what it looks like, God is going to remain faithful. Even if these people are giants on this land and they look big, bad, and strong, if it is something that God has promised you, you can conquer it. It doesn't matter. You just have to keep your focus on God and the promises that He has given you. And I want this story to kind of inspire you today. I wanted to inspire you because, one, we can walk in godly confidence, okay? We can know every day when we set foot down out of the bed, we can know that we can conquer anything that comes our way, okay? And it's okay to cry about it at first. It's okay to overthink it, but just all in all, give it to God and know that He is there for you. There are going to be times where you're called to do things that are just really scary, or maybe, you're going through a scary situation in your life and you're just not really hearing God's voice, and you're just not really getting that direction that you feel like you're getting. I just want to remind you, and I just want to encourage you to keep seeking God's face, okay? Keep seeking His face, keep seeking the promises that He's given to you. And our faith is going to be tested in these circumstances, right? We're going to have to know that God is here for us. We're going to have to know that we can conquer it, just as Joshua and Caleb knew that they can conquer anything that was going to stand in their way. So I hope that this, devotional, and I hope that this message today really inspires you to walk in godly confidence, right? To know that God will never forsake you. And even if everybody else does in the world, right? Even if everybody else leaves you and you are left against that giant on your own, knowing in your heart and believing in your heart that God is going to show up for you. Take a step back and just understand that you can walk in that confidence, that you don't have to worry about anything, and that God is never going to forsake you. And I hope that this message inspires you today. Any questions or anything, don't ever hesitate to email me. Also, I wanted to let you guys know I have a lot of great resources, Bible study printables over on the Etsy shop for these amazing Bible study printables that you can create for your prayer journal, your prayer word binders, and all these great things. I'll go ahead and link that information down below. Also, if you're interested in signing up for our monthly Bible reading plans and joining our monthly newsletter, you can also sign up down below. I will link that information for you all. Thank you so much for joining me today for today's devotional, and I will catch you guys all in my next video. Bye. Mwah.